Hello friends, welcome to Edwiki Learning channel. Please do subscribe to get more updates on the DevOps concepts. This video is part of the full course AWS DevOps Practitioner training. Please do check the description below to get the link for the complete full course. Without further delay, let's get into the video. Thank you. I wanted to talk about one specific product, which is edshopper.com. Okay, so basically it's very tricky, guys, giving the demonstration in a sense, right? Uh, like there is a 3 hours of movie, right? But the very tricky part for the director is preparing the 30 seconds of teaser, right? Agree with me? Because that 30 seconds of teaser should able to deliver the overall concept of what the director wanted to inform to the guys or audience, right? And how to meet their needs, and the guys should able to prepare whether should we be in or out based on that 30 seconds of teaser, right? So it's a little tricky, and I'm in the same situation now. So within 30 minutes, I should be able to deliver the demonstration in a way that you guys should be able to take a wise decision, right? Why and how we need to jump into the DevOps, right? Once you are in, I have 3 months of time for you to deliver and train you and make it better and better on everyday basis based on the progress that you are showing, right? That's a different case. But uh, now, if I go in more technical, you definitely cannot understand because you are pretty much new to the DevOps. If I'm using any technical wording, right, you will not understand. And if I'm not talking about the technical, how do I put my presentation in, correct? So that's where the things will be. I'm trying to balance that, guys. Now we'll see how it goes. So before entering into any other things, right, I really wanted to take you guys to this particular website that I wanted to show you. I'll just come here, guys. Okay. So this is called as a edshopper.com website. This website is all about giving the online shopping experience for the customers, where you just come to the website and look for the products that you wanted to purchase, right? And select the product and add the product to the cart, and then you do the payment and purchase the product. That's how you usually do the online shopping, right? But the question here is how come this website is uh, usable, accessible by the end users like you, correct? Someone has to put some efforts, right, in terms of giving you this kind of a beautiful website, correct? Agree with me, guys? You can always talk to me about the chat window, right, with your echo on my statements, right? So, so the reason why I'm bringing this website now is I wanted to tell you what exactly the DevOps engineer is putting their efforts at a back end in order to give you this kind of the beautiful website experience for you guys, right? So if you look into any other familiar websites that you are using for online shopping websites, like maybe Amazon shopping or any other, right? So to maintain those websites, right, in the back end, there are many of the DevOps engineers doing their technical deliverables, and that's how the website is accessible for you, and that's where the business is going on, right? Correct. So that means I'm trying to show you the actual real-time product, right, in our training program to give you the exact experience how the DevOps is evaluated in the real-time market, how these web applications are built, deployed, accessible, usable by the end users, right? So that is where the real time is integrated in our delivery style, guys. That's the only reason why I'm showing this website here. Shopper.com is our own product that we are going to work for the next 3 months of time to build and deploy and make it operational, right? As like a real time, right? To understand the real time products as well, not just like learning the technical part. Okay, so I'll show you simply this functionality of this website, right? So usually you take any one real-time website, right? You basically go for the sign up option and you create a user, right? Let's say my username, password, right? So maybe some email ID there. So yeah, this is how you register for a website, right? Yeah, once you register there, then you log in to your website, right? Because you wanted to do the shopping. Once you log in there, you know basically select the product that you wanted to purchase and make a quantity, how much you wanted to. Go to the cart. Why cart is not showing here? Let me log in with the other username. Yeah, let me add to cart. Let me go to cart. This is how you can see the products. You check out, you do the payment. This is how a typical real-time products will be working, right? I have developed the same kind of the real-time website for our learning purpose in our training program, and that's how you will be experiencing the actual real-time, guys. If this website is working like this, definitely a DevOps engineer is there behind the screen to make everything possible and supporting this, right? So let me do one simple shopping here. I'm not doing real-time shopping, right? So I don't want to give my actual credit cards there to do the billing, but I just try to, you know, fake it. Okay. Let's say I'm just trying to provide the credit card information. This is how the payment will be done. Orders will be created, right? Once the order is created, you usually go to your profile and see your order information and track for the order, see where the order is currently. This is the typical general use case of any online shopping portal, right? So we build this atshopper.com product for you to have this real-time experience case, and that is the product that we are using in our training programs, right? So if this website has to be running like this and the end users are actually coming and registering and purchasing the product from here, right? So how this website is working, that is where the backend, the DevOps engineers would be required here. So what exactly the DevOps engineer is doing in a real time, in a real organization to make this kind of the apps are running and working as expected. That is what is the whole idea here. Got me? We have seen this edshopper.com website, right, where I have talked about a shopping portal website where the people will come and purchase something. What DevOps is doing there, how the DevOps engineer is participating there to make that kind of the websites accessible, right? So usually if any website has to be working fine, there should be a code, right? Hope you are familiar with that. The developer usually will be writing a code, and that code is something will be showing you as a website. But when the developer is writing the code will not work just like that to make a website, right? There should be some couple of steps should be, right? Whatever the code that the developer is written, the code has to be in a server, like a computer, right? There should be a system where the code has to be uh, copied, and then the code will be running, and that code will give you the website whenever you are trying to access. That's where the logic comes in, right? So when we are making the systems ready to run the code that is done by the developers, right? Preparing these systems, making the systems, configuring the systems, right? And providing the proper connectivity to the different systems that we have. All this part of world is done by a SRE engineer. Site reliability engineering is the guy who is making sure of making all these systems and the things are ready. Then take the code from developer and put it into the systems, and then your website is ready. So far so good. But whenever the code is ready by the developer, right, the code will not be put into the system just like that. That's where the DevOps will come into the picture, right? The DevOps architect will make a plan how this code can be put into the systems in order to make it ready to serve you a website. The code has to go to into multiple different pages or stages. All these different things will be done by a architect, and he will make one flow. Hey, these are the different steps that it has to go through. Finally, it will come to the server or a system. Then the website will be ready. Good. Once the DevOps architect finalized the pattern, which pattern that the code has to go through, right? Then the code will come to the system, and finally the website is ready. Once the DevOps architect designed the style, then the DevOps engineer will come into the picture. What engineer is doing? The DevOps engineer will follow the instructions that are already defined by the DevOps architect and will ensure that he is following all those different strategies, and finally the code will be following those cycles, and the system will be ready, and finally, right, your systems will ensure that it is giving you the website. Good. I'm driving this effort as a non-technical manner because if I use the technical terminology, you may not able to understand as we are yet to get started with our journey. So overall, here the SRE is one engineer who is playing the role of infrastructure or servers. DevOps engineer is the guy who is playing the role of making some changes of your code to be ready or compatible to run it in the systems to make a website. What is the case, right? Like once the website is working fine as expected, right? And here we see I have one more guy, DevOps support engineer. This guy will be keep on checking whether website is working fine or not, right? Sometimes you are trying to do the payment in the website to purchase a product, your payment will fail. Who is responsible? In a backend, there should be a DevOps engineer or should be someone else who is responsible for that, has to do something in order to make a fix for you, right? So we have some support engineers as well to keep on monitoring the website, how it is performing. If any issues, they have to fix it. That's how we can give the seamless experience for the end user, right? Whenever someone is doing the shopping on my website to make a business out of it, correct? You see, in the backend, there is a developer, SRE engineer, DevOps engineer, architect, support engineer. These many number of guys has to work hard together in the backend to make this kind of a website for you. I'm thinking like the SRE skill, whatever they have to manage the system, DevOps engineer skill, whatever they have to make your uh, pipe, make your strategy. You can combine these two skills each into one single role. That's where now one guy should have the knowledge of SRE, which is managing the systems, knowledge of DevOps engineer, like putting your code it into the systems. Both together is one single role. That's where now we are in SRE with a modern DevOps engineer role. That's where I cover SRE world as well as the DevOps engineer world. That means whenever the developer is written a code, it's your role to take the code, do whatever you wanted to, make a website live. Let people use your website in a browser directly. In between, whatever is needed, we should be able to do that. That is what we are trying to learn in this course, guys. So who is DevOps architect? Usually, if you work as a DevOps engineer for a couple of years, automatically you will become the architect, which will be a senior role, nothing much. Well, so this is a slide which will tell you exactly what is SRE, what is DevOps engineer, what is that we are doing in a real-time industry to make a real websites accessible to the end users, right? So to meet this, right, there are different technology stacks that we need to use, right? When the developer has given the code, until the website is accessible, in between whatever we do to make that deliverable, right, we need to work with a technology called Terraform, AWS, Linux, Docker, Kubernetes, OpenShift, GitLab, Git, Grafana, Prometheus, MySQL database, Fluentd, Ansible, Argo CD, Python, Istio, Kibana, Jira, Helm, Maven, Jenkins. You see this? These are the different tools or softwares that we should be familiar with, and we should use all of these softwares to make a proper uh, integration to make your website accessible, guys. You see now my @shopper.com website is running. How it is running? It is running because of all the softwares that are working in the backend, right? So yesterday I worked with all of these tools and I prepared the @shopper.com website. Now I'm showing you the website is accessible. But yes, that's how we are, that is what we are learning in this course, to see how we can use all of these softwares together to make that kind of the website accessible to the end users. And that is what we are doing in real time as well for whatever the website that the real time company is trying to make a business out of it. So far so good, right? So to be expertise on all of these tools, as I said, there will be weekly projects and there will be a 5 real-time projects as well, which we are calling it as a capstone projects. Just a fancy name, nothing much. So you as a SRE or a DevOps engineer, what is that you need to ensure, right? You need to ensure that the systems are highly available. That means always the system should be running to make your website. Why? Do you like your shopping website is down? No, right? You always go to the website and start purchasing the product. If the website is not working, it will be bad. Like at least the impression will be bad. So in order to have that website is continuously working 24/7, the backend system should be having a high availability. So you as an engineer should able to provide the high availability of the servers, scalability of the servers, dynamically the servers has to be created, right? And should have a proper monitoring, should have a proper logging, right? Should have a proper security of your website, should have a fast delivery, like should should able to do everything so quickly, right? For that you need a more automation. So basically these are the 7 principles that we should be adopting as a DevOps engineer, right? And we'll be handling all of these principles in our course. Yeah. So in a previous slide, I have shown you a lot of tools, right? Jenkins, Kubernetes, whatnot. You may be new for those names, but you don't need to worry about do we need to learn all of them in an expertise level? Not really. So this slide, I wanted to tell you that you should not be scary. Hey, these many tools that I need to learn? No. So though there are bunch of tools in the list, right? We should know which tool or which software we should learn at 100%, which will be at 10%. You see this apples, guys? Linux, very basic. Ansible, very light. Kubernetes, more, almost 75%. So like I know exactly which software we should will be learning at expertise level, which will be a basic level. Accordingly, I'll be driving the things in our next 3 months of timeline, guys. Accordingly, you just follow and learn. That will be enough, right? So that way we can easily balance out our 3 months of time to learn all the different technology tools that are mentioned in our list to be compete with the current market needs. Right? So if you allow me another 5 minutes, right? I wanted to drive this effort. Like usually when you start your career, I mean to say when you start taking a decision, hey, I'll start learning the DevOps start from today. Where do you get start with? Correct. So I will say like first you start with the infrastructure management concept. That's where you need to be familiar with the AWS Cloud, Linux operating system, Terraform automation, and Packer automation. These are the major things that will be coming into the infra world. If you complete this step one, you will become the cloud engineer. You can work as a cloud engineer with this step one. That's it. You go into the market, start applying for the jobs, you work as a cloud engineer. This skill set is enough, guys. If you go to the step number two, that is where we need to learn about the automation side of world, where we need to learn about Ansible and Python scripting. If you complete the step two, right, then you will become the cloud automation engineer. Then you can start applying for the jobs related to cloud automation engineer if you know this step two skill as well. If you go to the step three, that is where the container orchestration concept, that's where you need to learn about the softwares like Docker, Kubernetes, Helm, OpenShift side of world. If you complete this third step as well, then you will become the platform engineer, or I would say SRE, site reliability engineer, guys. Good. If you go to the step four, right? So that's where the continuous integration, we talk about Git, Bitbucket, GitLab, right? The Java applications, Maven, Jenkins. Step five is about the delivery style, Jenkins Argo CD. Once we complete by step number five, you will become the DevOps engineer. You see this, guys, the steps, how it is, right? So after the DevOps engineer, just to have fully covered, we need to work with some of logging, some of monitoring, some of alerting, some more add-ons like databases and other you know uh, tools. Then you will become the DevOps engineer, fully a DevOps engineer with all of these 9 steps. So this is our roadmap, guys. So once we start our journey with this program, I'll start with step one. I'll go towards this step 9. Okay, and these are the different job titles that you will be eligible to work in the real time. I wanted to take a pause and tell you that why it is a cutting edge technology in the market, why there are more openings, more opportunities are there for the DevOps engineer. The only reason here is DevOps is not a single job, not a single role. As you see here, once you complete this course with all of these skills, you are eligible to work as a cloud engineer, cloud automation engineer, platform engineer, SRE engineer, DevOps engineer. Each role has their own significance, the responsibilities. So yes, that's where you are now open to work on the different kind of the job roles, case with the same skill set. That is the one reason where we are having more opportunities in place. And yes, all of them are needed. Good. So now once you become the DevOps engineer, it will not be enough, right? Because learning the technology is not always be enough, guys. Right? We should be expertise there. That's where the weekly assignments will help you, right? And The capstone projects will help you. The agile process that I'm going to deliver to tell you how exactly we work in real time will help you. That's where the Jira process, right? And we help you in terms of the resume preparation and the mock interview scan. That's where it will help you how to present yourself to, or how to market yourself to the interviewers. Take the support, and that's where you finally become a DevOps engineer professional, guys, right? That's a complete package which will give you a work before get job kind of the style. That means before you get to the job, try to see the work environment how it is. That's the goal here. Make sense, guys? Super. So I think finally, right, as I said, the capstone projects. So these are the couple of five, real-time projects that I'm going to cover up in this program, right? Though you may be not aware of what are these projects, my responsibility to talk about this in a listing, right? So I'm showing all of these projects. So these will help you how the real time will be and how to present or explaining these things into interviewers as well. That's how we will be driving the effort. These projects will help you how that at shopper.com is built and deployed and operational. That's where it is, right? So just to have a conclusion here, like yes, the weekly projects will help you to expertise on the software side. The capstone projects will help you to understand the real time, and the roles and responsibilities will help you like it will help you how to attend the interviews, right? And the scrum process as well. So like the technical part, the non-technical part, both together is part of this course. That's where it will help you to fully ready to go and start attending the interviews case and crack the market.